Good evening and welcome to eNews. I'm Shahan Ramkisoon. It's great to have you with us. Our top stories tonight. The voter registration weekend is marred by violent protests, but political leaders are confident ahead of the polls.
I'm so sorry we couldn't save them.
One of the people who survived a drowning in Mozambique expresses regret as she buries two of her friends. The voter registration weekend has been marred by violent service delivery protests, but that has not stopped boastful political party leaders. While town halls burned and roads were blocked, the frontrunners were out encouraging people to register to vote and verify their details. Lindo Kulu has the details.
The gloves are off and everyone is in it to win it as the general elections fast approach. Confidence levels are high as usual ahead of any vote.
We are predicting more than 51%. You don't go into a boxing ring with a mind of losing. We are going to win this election.
We're going in for the win. Gauteng is up for grabs, so we are governing Gauteng, governing Northern Cape, governing Western Cape. We're taking Operation Fat Provinces.
But the ANC remains confident it will emerge on the top again.
South Africa go serious. Go serious. Nempilo. Awukwazi ungayikhethi ANC.
Political leaders visited various areas encouraging people to register to vote. And while some residents have given up hope, opposition parties say the only solution to their problems is a new government.
I'm speaking to South Africans at home. South Africa's future will be better than it's yesterday. Let's build a government that can deliver the greatness that we know is within us, that we can deliver on society.
Sitting at home will not give you a job, but removing the corrupt ANC government and bringing in an EFF government which will prioritize the youth and women will be a good thing, because then we are guaranteed of jobs, particularly for the youth and the women.
But the ANC says it's done a lot to improve the lives of South Africans.
Lengcindezelo isiyasicindezela kwadlula amakhulu ngamakhulu eminyaka. Awukwazi ukuyiqeda ngamashumi amabili eminyaka. Kodwa sizoyiqeda. Sesiyazi manje ukuthi kufanele wenziwe njani.
With the weekend voter registration drive done and dusted, parties now wait for President Cyril Ramaphosa to announce the date for voting to take place. Lindo Kulu, Johannesburg.
One of the men who survived a drowning in Mozambique has spoken about the torture of what was supposed to be a perfect holiday. He broke down at the funeral service of his friends who died while swimming at the Portuguese island. Two of them were laid to rest in Groblersdal today. Malungelo Boy reports.
Matolo Mogafe was meant to celebrate her birthday, but a beach holiday ended tragically, with her and 3 friends drowning in Mozambique earlier this month. Their families and friends gathered on Sunday to remember Mogafe and 21-year-old Lesedi Matsepa. Those who survived the trip are broken.
To the Mogafe and Matsepa family, I say thank you for sharing your beautiful daughters with us. I'm so sorry we couldn't save them.
Vincent Ramapudu managed to survive the strong currents.
We toured and explored the island, its people around the village to see, and its people around the village to see how they lived. We enjoyed their food and drinks. It was a wonderful experience, and everyone was happy and enjoying the trip. Indeed, it was the best birthday gift a parent can ever give to a child. But little did we know that our joy would be short-lived.
Authorities in Limpopo say it's not the first time South Africans have died on the Mozambican coastline. A couple from Vembe district drowned there last year, and their bodies have still not been recovered.
I'll talk to the President of South Africa, Honorable President Matamela Ramaphosa. I'll talk to him personally that how about talking to your Mozambican counterpart there
express our concern about the loss of lives that we are encountering in that island, because you can't stop South Africans from going there. It is a beautiful tourism icon that everybody else would love to be there.
Premier, what's not there? Is it signage? Do you want South Africans to be warned about the dangers?
One, I think, is signage. Two, I think, is the issue of lifeguards, lifeguards and other equipments that in case, because I'm told the weather there is very unpredictable, You get there, it's a dry land, out of a sudden it's a sea.
David Kaise and Gregory Mfune were buried on Saturday in their hometowns in Mpumalanga and Free State. Malungelo Pui, Groblersdal.
The family of a South African businessman who died in custody in Mozambique says they want to conduct their own autopsy. Andre Hanekom's family is calling on the South African government to intervene. They want help repatriating his body. The family says Mozambican authorities have illegally changed his cause of death to an infectious bacterial disease. This means his body will have to be cremated before being transported back to South Africa. The 61-year-old's family is seeking a second opinion. They claim to have little assistance by the South African embassy in Maputo. Hanekom died on Wednesday after being in jail in Pemba since last August. He was arrested on what his wife calls trumped-up terrorism charges.
And now all of a sudden they want to change the diagnosis to encephalitis, which was caused by bacterial or virus infection. But the doctor in the hospital said to me, Andre is being treated for pneumonia. And the doctor that admitted him said to me, Andre's got clear signs of being poisoned. So there's 4 diagnoses. The fourth one is an attempt to say that Andre's got an infectious disease. And then the body cannot go across the border for an autopsy from our side to confirm what they find in their autopsy this side. And what I am trying to obtain is a special permission to take his body to the Tonga department just across the border so that our South African authorities can do a second opinion autopsy on the body of Andre.
A trip to Ekurhuleni for a rowing tournament has ended in tragedy. A coach and a 14-year-old boy were struck by lightning in Germiston yesterday. While the teenager is fighting for his life in hospital, his mentor was declared dead on the scene. They were attending the VLC National Sprints Regatta, which is regarded as one of the biggest rowing events on the South African calendar. Zikona Chona reports.
Still, the waters of Victoria Lake, a reflection of the somber mood of the rowing community. There should be loud screams and cheers here on what was said to be the final day of the VLC National Sprints Regatta. Instead, there's a deafening sound of silence after a 19-year-old rowing coach and a 14-year-old was struck by lightning yesterday. Despite efforts to resuscitate him, paramedics say it was too late. The young coach from Cape Town died on the scene. Event organizer Anne Killian says they stopped the competition before the weather turned bad. She says everyone was desperately trying to find shelter.
And we were busy packing up everything, and then the rain hit. And myself, together with some of my team and a number of officials, huddled in one of the tents to keep away from the lightning. In hindsight, it was the worst thing we could have done. We could also have been struck. And we were standing in the tent, and the lightning was particularly vicious. And we looked over, and there was this huge crash.
The young men were standing under this tree when they were struck by lightning. They were seeking shelter and safety. But sadly, it is this very shelter that put their lives in danger. Moments later, the news of the incident emerged.
Look, I think the rowing community are deeply saddened by the events of yesterday. In respect of what happened yesterday, today's racing was cancelled, so we were meant to continue racing today, and the event was meant to continue today. We took a decision as Rowing South Africa to cancel today's event, given the the mood and the severity of the incident of yesterday.
The 14-year-old pupil is in a critical condition in hospital. Zikhona Tshona in Germiston.
Family members and fans have gathered in Zimbabwe to bid farewell to jazz legend Oliver Mtukudzi. He's considered one of the country's greatest musicians. The 66-year-old passed away on Wednesday. Mtukudzi has been declared a national hero for his illustrious career spanning over 4 decades. After the break, authorities in the Philippines remain on high alert after a deadly church bombing. Welcome back. International news now. We start in the Philippines, where at least 20 people have died in a twin bomb attack during a Sunday service at a Roman Catholic church. Nearly 80 others were wounded. It comes nearly a week after a referendum on autonomy, where the mainly Muslim region voted in favor of it. No one has claimed responsibility for the attack, but police suspect the bombings are the work of a militant group linked to the Islamic State. Authorities remain on high alert. And rescue teams are still searching for hundreds of missing people who were buried under a sea of mud in Brazil. A dam burst at an iron ore mine, killing at least 34 people. The dam rupture caused a mudslide, releasing torrents of mining waste that ripped through a nearby community. It's estimated 250 people are still missing, mostly employees and contractors. A Nigerian sculptor is turning a junk into art. He's repurposing scrap metal and using it to transform hotel lobbies. Let's take a look.
Dotun Popola is working on his latest sculpture, and his work is far from ordinary. This fish is built from a broken generator and recycled kitchen utensils. The 35-year-old Nigerian artist says animal forms are his favorite to work on.
Most of my sculptures have inspirations and philosophies that guides them. And oftentimes, when I'm done with a sculpture, I try to create a philosophy around it that would tell a story, a social story, or a folk tale.
Dotun has been making his avant-garde scrapyard art since 2016 and usually creates masterpieces for clients. This dog from vehicle parts is on display in a Lagos hotel. When he isn't scouring junkyards for building materials, Dotun mentors other aspiring artists. He hopes to nurture creativity in Nigerian youth and help them find new ways to express themselves.
After the break, your weather details, and then...
You are by far the coolest 6-year-old I have ever met in my life.
South Africa's youngest DJ goes global. DJ Arch Jr. is spinning his way onto the international stage.
Welcome to the Weather Centre on Sunday night, where the stormy weather continues for the summer rainfall regions right the way through to the start of the week. We're still expecting quite a bit of cloud over the eastern part of the country, with up to a 60% chance of thunderstorms over the eastern interior, as well as a bit of drizzle as we head along the escarpment. It'll be a fine and dry day over the western part of South Africa, with very high temperatures in the west. In the Northern Cape, Uppington tops 41 degrees, with a few thundershowers for Kimberley and Colesberg, both in the mid-30s. A sunny 38 for Calvinia, and we stick with that sizzling hot weather as we head towards the Western Cape, with a few highs heading towards the 40-degree mark. A sunny 35 for Cape Town and George at 29 degrees. Hot with isolated thundershowers over the Eastern Cape interior, warm as we head towards the coastline with a high of 27, with a slight possibility of rainfall. You'll also see the chance of rain, with maximum temperatures peaking in the mid-20s for the KZN coastline, and then up to a 60% chance of thunderstorms is forecast over the interior. We're also expecting scattered thunderstorms over the western part of Mpumalanga. Still quite chilly for eMekhizeni and Ermelo at around 20 degrees. A bit of drizzle extends through to Thohoyandou and Zanin, with thunderstorms over the western part of Limpopo as well as into northwest. Mahikeng topping 30 degrees and Ventersdorp at 26. Bethlehem tops 25, 30 degrees as we head towards Bloemfontein, with isolated thundershowers expected for the Free State as well as Gauteng. We'll see Vereeniging, Johannesburg and Pretoria all heading into the mid-20s and Soweto at 23 degrees. Thunderstorms continue over much of South Africa on Tuesday, except over the far western and far eastern parts. You'll see temperatures continuing to remain hot into this middle of the work week, with a few showers expected over the southern part of South Africa, and things remain dry over the far northeastern parts. That's all from the Weather Centre. Have a lovely week.
And finally, a 6-year-old from Johannesburg is giving new meaning to the phrase living your best life. DJ Arch Jr. is traveling the world and wooing crowds from behind the decks.
The master DJ shot to fame when he won the coveted SA's Got Talent competition in 2016. And from there, it was onwards and upwards.
He's opening other platforms we're in. I don't think we could have got. So now we've got this baby DJ that we can use to market our music internationally.
Fast forward to 2019, and AJ has set his sights on an even bigger prize. He wants to win America's Got Talent, the champions, and with that gain a whole host of followers around the world. The little man made his first appearance on the show this week, performing for judges Simon Cowell, Mel B, Heidi Klum and Howie Mandel. And it's safe to say he nailed it.
Wowza, wowza, wowza. Now, just to be clear, you were stopping and starting that all by yourself, right?
Yes.
Well, you have impeccable rhythm and timing. Well done.
You're really talented. 2 people are going through. I loved what you did, and I hope you're one of the 2 that America votes through.
You are by far the coolest 6-year-old I have ever met in my life. You really are, and I have 4 kids. I know what I'm talking about. I thought you were incredible, and I wish you good luck today.
You and I need to be talking after this show, because I've got some plans for you, trust me. I think you are a total little star. I absolutely love you. You're 6 years old, you've flown all the way in from South Africa to take on the best. It's all down to the 50 states now. What a way to start the show. And you are everything the show is all about. Thank you.
Can't do much to beat that, can you?
Sweet. Here's a reminder of our top stories before we go. The voter registration weekend is marred by violent protests, but political leaders are confident ahead of the polls.
I'm so sorry we couldn't save them.
And one of the people who survived a drowning in Mozambique expresses regret as she buries 2 of her friends. From me, Shahan Ramkisoon, and the rest of the team, take care and thanks for watching.